Back with Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, 1940 British campaign. Well, we just finished up a rather large, for this game anyway, rather large battle right up here off the Northern Irish coast, the Battle of Londonderry. Actually, that city can be called either way. Just it can be Londonderry or just Derry. Uh, did not no ships were lost either side. They got in more damage than we did. I helped them out by torpedoing one of my own ships by authorizing torpedo fire at a bad time during a turn. Let's not do that again. Um, Took a look off camera in the post battle summary closer at the various German ship classes, which they have five, and we saw four of the five. And by and large, they seem somewhat reasonable in term. I didn't see anything really weird for armament or whatever. So the patch note that said, hey, the AI autogen, we've improved that. Uh, Seems to be the case. They did pretty good during that battle, and the both sides scored about the same number of hits, and frankly, they got the better of us on damage, even without my friendly fire torpedo. The the German battleship is 16-inch armed. It is slower than ours, so I think we've got a decent matchup there. The German battle cruiser is pretty fast. It's actually their fastest ship at 37 knots, 14-inch armed, four triple turrets. Could not get a look at the armor scheme. I forgot to do that during the battle itself. It does not have torpedoes, which is pretty typical of capital ships. I noticed that the German heavy cruiser has got a pretty typical heavy cruiser armament, 9-inch main guns, a mixture of 5 and 4-inch, and the usual obligatory. It's actually got a lot of little 2-inch secondaries. Probably not a big deal for a warship fight, but if that thing ever gets loose in one of our convoys during a convoy battle, it'll rip up merchants. However, the German heavy cruiser is significantly smaller than ours. It is a 14,000 ton ship. It's actually slightly below that, and it's slow. It's 27.8 knots. The German light cruiser, don't know details on its stability and so forth, but it looks fairly scary. It's well armed with 7-inch mains, uh, kind of a typical arrangement of 3 and 2-inch secondaries. It's decently fast at 35.1 knots, about the same tonnage as ours, a little over 9,000, and it carries an enormous load of torpedoes. 4 quintuple launchers, 2 quad launchers, and some underwater tubes in addition. So if we get within torpedo range of that thing, it's going to be a lot of fish coming our way. My hope is that, and my expectation really, is that such a large number of the big deck torpedo launchers means that this ship's roll is has got to be pretty bad, and maybe from a stability standpoint, those 7-inch guns won't be very accurate. And that's kind of where we stand. Few ships under repair, and then a few other ships just kind of went back to random ports, like New Zealand, the flagship from that last battle. Didn't take any damage, but she decided to go back to Liverpool. Let's get her back over to the North Sea, where she belongs. Who else? Who is not in the North Sea? Who's operational? Moving. Heavy cruisers repairing in the English Channel. Okay. Everybody's in the North Sea. Or headed there. Who can. On to... Oh, here is one other interesting thing. The Germans did more damage in that encounter and got more VP. I think from the battle we got like 24 VP, yet we have more overall. I don't know why. We haven't had any convoy battles. We didn't sink any merchants there. We did not see any, X transports lost in North Sea. So that's about, 70-ish victory points that we got. And I don't know why. We haven't imposed a blockade. So your guess is as good as mine. On to March. Okay, we've got another battle here, not far from Rozeth. Looks like kind of just off Aberdeen, as it turns out. That's Aberdeen somewhere right in here. And it's another fairly large battle. New Zealand comes out to fight again. That's one of our smaller 15-inch battleships, accompanied by one heavy cruiser against Gneisenau, who we now know is 16-inch armed, but slower, helped out by 3 light cruisers. Well, let's see if we can do a little bit better than we did off of Londonderry. Where's our cruiser? In screen. That's just asking for trouble. Just follow for now. If we leave him in screen, it'll maneuver and get in the way and probably run into New Zealand. And RDF says off this way. Some distance away, apparently. Not that far away. 22.4 in closing. I'm actually going to go a little asymmetrical here, and instead of just duking it out with this battleship, let's see if I can take out some of these light cruisers instead. I didn't mean for you to go over there, I meant for you to shoot. I'm not liking that range. We need to open the range. These light cruisers are coming in to try to pickle off some torps, and they got a lot of them. You've probably already fired. Okay, that one's kind of neutralized for now. Let's have the battleship switch to this guy. Yeah, a lot of fish coming. Magdeburg. And Condor. Condor hasn't really been hit too hard yet. Okay. Well, Kent didn't fire torpedoes. And Magdeburg is sinking from a torpedo hit. So I guess they repaid the favor and uh-oh. Some torps over here. Who are they? Okay. That's looking rough. Those might be fired at New Zealand. Let's slow down just a little bit. See if that'll tighten the turning circle any. I don't know if it will. I think Kent's best bet is to just keep going forward at full speed. Some more torpedoes. They're fired down the same barrel. Feel free to turn faster there, New Zealand. I think New Zealand will be okay. I did not catch earlier what kind of torpedo. These are standard propulsion, standard ammo. Interestingly, reduced ammo for guns, and with a range of 14 kilometers. Okay, Kent is clear, and I believe New Zealand will be as well. I think we can bring this time compression back up. Let's come back around. New Zealand, let's take out this third light cruiser, partially to remove torpedo threat, partially because, hey, we need some VP, man. New Zealand has taken very little damage from Gneisenau's fires. I think that's Gneisenau. Yeah. So this battle is going much better than Londonderry did. Cannot complain. Karlsruhe has just fired more torpedoes. Looks like no, I didn't speed New Zealand back up. Okay, Karlsruhe is done. And I think New Zealand's gonna be alright. Oop, there was another pop there. Oh, no. Okay. Slow down again. Ooh, I don't know about this. This may not Okay, she's going to avoid those, I think. You can see what I was talking about, though. There's a ton of torpedoes in the water from those light cruisers, but there won't be any more. Not today. It's only a 12 knot or 12 kilometer range. Okay, we don't need to close range anymore. Let's just steady up. Matter of fact, let's head away a little bit just to angle armor a little bit better. You know, I forgot what Kent was doing. Come on around. 9 inches aren't going to do much. With little HE, they can start some fires and that sort of thing. Let's come back up to cruise speed on New Zealand. So right now New Zealand has a 14% chance to hit. Gneisenau, 12. $11. So not that big a gap in the accuracy between our battleships and the Germans. Now this was the cheaper variant, and it was initially an auto-designed ship, and I just kind of tweaked it some. I didn't try to just zero out the pitch, you know, the offset and everything. Don't really remember if it has the best possible towers, but it's got you know, 36% for tech, 33% for long-range techs, 71% for hull stability and tower. Whereas Gneisenau has got, well, kind of in the same ballpark. 39% for tech, 43% for long range, 72% for hull stability and tower. I think we have a small advantage in accuracy, but not enough of one, maybe, for 15-inch to outgun 16-inch. And we're kind of seeing that now. We've taken propulsion damage, which this compartment is destroyed. So that if that's the engine room that got popped, may not come back. Yeah, okay. You don't need to go suicide yourself. You know what though? Wonder how maneuverable Gneisenau is. Rudder, semi-balanced. Let's see. We've got 12.6 range on the torps. We're in range. Let's get to about. Let's just see how she does at detecting and avoiding torpedoes. I mean, we're here. Why not? I don't want to get so close as to just sacrifice this heavy cruiser. .4. Okay. Throw some torps down there. Should see what happens. Here they go. AI is pretty good at avoiding. I'm sure that Admiral will maneuver it as soon as they're spotted, and probably will be able to avoid. Let's flip. We're loading, but that's on the port side. The starboard launcher is still loaded. Let's flip around and throw another spread down. At least that's the way it works for the AI. I hope that's the way it works. There they go. Okay. Alright, can't get out there. Don't become a pinata for a 16-inch bat. Which, if she loses sight of New Zealand, those 16 inches are going to look for another target. Oh ho! We got a torpedo hit. Not a very big one, though. Wow. Anti-torp 3, Citadel 4, Reinforced Bulkhead 2, double bottom. I didn't really hurt it very much. She's getting low on ammo, though, and that she's taken enough damage where she's beginning to affect her accuracy. Let's get New Zealand turned around here. Not let her get too far out of range. Crap. back to HE. I'd rather do that than get a bunch of ricochets. Can't get back up here and maybe throw some more torpedoes downrange. I would say can't hurt. It can hurt. If Gneisenau decides to target Kent instead. She's not exactly closing, but she's not exactly running away either. Let's close on this angle. Ouch. Okay, pretty much as soon as we get these torpedoes loaded, I'm going to try the same maneuver. Shoot from port, flip, shoot from starboard, egress. Ready. Okay. There's a spread. Hard left. Let's turn them off for a minute. Steady up over here. Get a good shot. I just fired again. I don't see the spread though. There's a torpedo there. There's another one. How you feeling there, Gneisenau? Tempted to end the battle just because it's going to take a long time for them to repair Gneisenau, and that's going to be kind of a budget. But then the counter argument is take the heavy off the table. It would be a long repair, but not as long as building another battleship. That'll be just as expensive. Let's take her out. Not to mention the VP. Okay. The Battle of Aberdeen went much, much better for us. 5,700 victory points versus 76. Took some damage, but fairly light. It's showing medium for New Zealand. I bet that comes out light in the well, we'll see. This helps a lot. No, medium for New Zealand. Okay. But 4 German ships sunk. So one of the one of the patch notes was that in the campaign it's going to try to generate more of the larger battles. That seems to be occurring. You know, we haven't had any 1v1s or little dinky convoy battles. We've had two, and both of them have been fairly sizable, with capital ships and several cruisers on both sides. So, yeah. And make sure ships are where they need to be. Everything that's not in the North Sea is repairing somewhere else. Yeah. And some are repairing in the North Sea. So we have 5 ships under repair. That can't be cheap. And look at this. The New Zealand is one of the smaller battleships, which normally has about a 5 million operating cost in being, but it's 8.4 million to repair. It's just going to be out for 7 months. Roxborough, so the heavy cruiser is 3.6 million a month to repair, about a 2 million monthly operating cost. And then 10 million a month to repair Audacious, compared to an $8 million operating cost, which is a little bit higher. I don't know if that's a change in the patch, but a lot of times, for the bigger ships, their repair cost per month typically isn't, it's kind of right around the same ballpark as their operating cost, at least in being, not for sea control. And that's not what we're getting here. We've still got a very healthy monthly surplus. And of course, our naval fund reserve has grown. I'm quiet because I'm considering adding another couple of battleships just to get closer to that blockade threshold. Because right now we have four of the bigger ones, 4 of the Canadas. They take 2 years to build. I don't really want to fiddle around for another several months before deciding. I'm going to add one Hindustan just because I'm not exactly sure what its monthly cost is. Uh, 8.8 mil. That'll bring us below 20 million surplus per month, which right now looks perfectly fine, but we don't have that many ships under repair. And the repair bills are big. If we were to get a couple more in the shipyard, that could get hit. We got a pretty big reserve though. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I mean, worst case scenario, may have to suspend some builds. Okay. There you have it. Battle of Aberdeen. I think that'll do it for this episode, and we'll see what happens in April in the next episode.